What's up everyone, this is Trendkill Toys with a quick review. This time I'm taking a look at the brand new Wolverine that just came out in the Gamerverse 2-pack. Silver Samurai was included in the 2-pack. It's an okay figure, it's pretty much the exact same as the previously released, just different paint. I'm not really attached to this character, so I don't really care about him, but he's kind of a cool samurai character for the collection. But everyone was really excited about this new Wolverine figure. It's pretty much all in new sculpt, so I'm going to let you all know what I think about this figure. First of all, I'm not a fan of the size of the figure. He is way taller than the previous Wolverines, and he's pretty much right at 6 inches to the top of the horns of his mask. And one of the previous Wolverines is about 5.5 inches, so a pretty considerable height difference. I do like the sculpt and the look of the figure. I just think he should have been a little bit shorter. The head sculpt is pretty good for Marvel Legends standards. I do like the bigger horns on the mask. The muscles all throughout the figure are pretty decent, especially in the quad area. It's not 100% accurate, but it does look better than what they normally do. And the arms are also pretty good too. Not a big fan of how they did the hair. I would have preferred if they sculpted the hair like this, like on this figure, but if they actually painted it, I would prefer that than just drawing on the hair like they did here. Another thing I really appreciate is that they have the mold of the shorts, and it's the same thing on the X-Men 97 figure. There is no boot swivel on the figure. A lot of people were bummed out about that. It's not that big of a deal for me as long as the ankle articulation is okay, but there was really no reason for them to not add the boot swivel. The joints are a different yellow than the rest of the figure. One really big negative about this figure is the shoulder area. So the sculpt and everything like that is fine, but they didn't really give him a butterfly joint. They gave him a McFarlane style joint, and the arms just pop right out. And you can see the sculpt there, so it's not a butterfly joint, it's just like a McFarlane figure. If you have a McFarlane figure, you know what I'm talking about. It just plugs into the body, and there's a cap that goes with it too. And you think you'd be able to get more range without the cap there. Slightly more range, but it's really not that much. It's almost nothing, so they really messed up designing that. Still not as good as having a regular butterfly joint, and I'll show you what that looked like in the previous Wolverine. So on this one, you can get the arm across like that, and on the new one, it's less, and that problem is made even worse because the arms are bigger. Double ball joint in the torso, so you can crunch the abdomen that far, which is pretty good, again, for Marvel Legends standards. And here's the previous one with just the hinge. Honestly, it's not that much different, but you're able to do a lot more with this kind of joint setup, so you can lean it left to right, which is good, and then you can twist it at the bottom here, and it won't look as atrocious as it does with a swivel. And then you're able to crunch the figure in different directions. They didn't give him the dumbbell joint in the neck, which I actually appreciate that they didn't do that. They gave him the hinge. I think that works better for a character like Wolverine, because then you can have him crouch and you can get his head all the way up. He also came with alternate fists and a slashing effect. It does come with a stand, so you are sort of able to somewhat display it kind of like that, but it is really low to the ground, I think. Luckily there are 2 stands included, one for Silver Samurai, one for Wolverine, and something you can do is you can actually take it apart. You can actually take the stands apart to make a longer stand, so you're able to get the effect a little bit more higher, so that just gives you an option for the height. And they probably didn't intend that, but that is something that you can do. Not really a fan of how they did the claws. It is an upgrade to the previous X-Men 97 claws. I think the best claws we've seen is from the movie Logan figure. So the posing is actually really good with this figure. I still would like to see a Wolverine that's like really short and muscular, and then he has like that big hair. And as far as the torso goes, it's pretty much as good as Jada Toys. So here's Jada Toys Guile, and you can see that you get a lot more range from the Wolverine. So, Hasbro could have always been doing this, but now there's actually more competition out there. Maybe they're starting to actually try and make their figures better, which is a good thing at the end of the day. A couple of head swap options. There was no alternate head included. One of my favorites is the Mezco Wolverine, and it actually looks pretty good on this one. So I think that looks really cool. And here's a Marvel Legends unmasked Wolverine head. It's not bad. It is kind of small though. It makes the rest of his body look bigger, but I guess if that's what you want to go for, this is an option. And here's another unmasked Mezco head. This one looks pretty good as well. Then the X-Men 97 head, which is pretty small, and it does look kind of goofy. And then here's the Gamerverse Wolverine on the X-Men 97 body. Kind of has a big head. Yeah, you guys let me know what you think about these different head swaps. So obviously this is the best Wolverine released so far for Marvel Legends. I'm looking forward to the next step in the improvements with Marvel Legends. You guys let me know what you think about this figure. Let me know your thoughts about this review, and I'll see you in the next one.